He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Think about. Tomorrow is the 15th anniversary of Katrina, and in so many ways, this aquarium is sort of an exclamation point for Mississippi, not just the coast,
absolutely,
of our recovery effort.
Oh, absolutely, and before we go into that, our thoughts and prayers to all of the people in Louisiana after the Hurricane Laura. Louisiana and Texas are important partners for us, so we wish them the best. And fast recovery. But going back, I mean, this is a historic day for not only the coast, for Mississippi. This is a world-class facility, Ricky, as you saw. And we're so eager that the day is here. The day is finally here. This is for real. And this will bring an additional dimension to our destination. People that normally knows us for the beach and the water sports and the outdoors activity, now we have this facility, which is not only to come and see the nature, but as well, this is an important research and education center, which is so important for the community, especially with the blue economy and especially with the developments that you see is going to happen here downtown Gulfport at the port of Gulfport. So it's a perfect fit, and we are celebrating, honestly. We're really happy to have this here in Gulfport.
Their goal is to create this sort of awe-inspiring experience that covers from the mighty Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico and the bayous and marshes that make this such a wonderful place to live. When you think about how this 400,000-gallon amazing aquarium, sort of when you go out of the air conditioning and go out into the sort of open air and see the river and then the waterfall and the aquatic animals that are there, they really did a great job of tying it all together, didn't they?
It's, I mean, you can come here with your family, with a group of friends. A corporation can come, a group of people can come and spend easily half a day. And you'll see, you know, obviously, as you said, all the aquatic collection that we will have from our ecosystem. But not only that, you're here downtown in Gulfport, so you have so many things to do. This is not an isolated place. It fits an overall experience when you come to the coast, especially when you come to Gulfport. So I think it's going to be great. A lot of expectations. It's a difficult time, but I'm sure the management, I mean, this aquarium has the best of the best. They will do their best job, and people will come. They will get to know this place. They will come, and you will see. This is another reason to come to coastal Mississippi. This is another reason to spend one more day in coastal Mississippi. And at the end, that's how economic development and growth is achieved. So, very important piece for the overall experience of coastal Mississippi.
And Milton, as you and I have talked about so many times in the past, the opportunity to tell people, especially in coastal Mississippi, who may be a little leery about going somewhere else, this just provides one more opportunity to do a staycation, to come stay here, come and take it in, and understand the incredible, I call it an iconic building because it's not just the architecture, but it's the symbolism of that exclamation point that I talked about on the 15th anniversary of Katrina. But to see how the architects and planners brought it all together, to look at the landscaping and the ability to be able to look over the harbor and the Gulf, man, it's just, I mean, it's a really incredible experience.
It is. And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned about the staycations. You know, I think all of us that we live here in coastal Mississippi, this should be a mandatory stop within the next couple of months. We need to come and support this facility immediately, because like any other facility, it's going to take some time until we get to additional markets. That's okay. We can deal with that. But right now, when the business is needed, we need all of us that we live here to come a weekend, one of those days in the week that you have time, come, bring your family, bring your friends, and visit and support this facility for the local community. So it's on us to start this, and I hope the local people will respond and support this facility from day one.
So that's a wonderful pitch, and I get it completely. In the next segment, though, I want to talk more about sort of the strategic positioning that you did early on that I've been so impressed with. But let's just stay on sort of the narrative that we're on now. One of the things I think that's going to make this such a good place to visit is that they're really focused on making sure it's a safe visit. You know, wearing a face mask, asking people to practice social distancing, there are hand washes everywhere. The ability to be able to be outside a lot. This is going to be a safe place for people to visit, isn't it?
It is. You know, the Kurt and all the staff here at the aquarium, Kurt, the CEO, they're taking all the necessary precautions to make sure this is a safe place. And as you know, we as a destination, we have our destination promise for health and safety. It was well accepted here, plus additional safety precautions that the aquarium is taking. And you'll see, when you come, you'll see that they are, there is no room for any mistake here in that sense. People will come, will enjoy a great facility, will enjoy a great experience under a phenomenal and safe environment. So that's key right now. Which brings me to the next one, Ricky. Think about this. Tell me where in the South, right in the middle of the pandemic, right now at the end of the summer, a more than $100 million investment, it's being opened. Only here in coastal Mississippi. That's a very powerful message to the community and to the investor that this is a safe place, this is a good place to invest, that we have the infrastructure, that we have the facility, that we know where to talk and bring visitors. And I guess that's a very strong message. Think about that. Where in the South, right now, in September, at the end of August, someone is opening something like this? No place. Only here in coastal Mississippi. That's a powerful message.
It is a powerful message. I really enjoyed going through the aquarium and essentially taking a tour of the campus yesterday. But the aquarium, 400,000 gallons. When you go through that tunnel and you see that 360-degree view of the fish, when you go up the escalator to the very top, it's one of the only aquariums in the world where you can start at the top,
exactly,
and kind of work your way down. And I think that's going to be super popular with people. Starting with sort of the touch pool, and then seeing the shallow water fish, and then seeing the deep water fish from above, and then working your way down. What an interesting way to approach this.
As any business as well, this facility, what you have here is the latest in terms of technology, in terms of how to really experience a good time. And they have, done the best to make sure when you come in, not only that you see what you normally have in mind when you go to an aquarium, but the additional things that they bring, the way people will enjoy this facility is totally different. The experience when you come here, when you enjoy that, you feel you're pretty much inside a tank, and that it's something that you cannot see every day in different places. So we have it, and I'm sure people will like it, people will support this, and will come back.
You said this earlier, but this is not just for coastal Mississippi that this is a big day. It's great for Mississippi. This is Mississippi's aquarium. And as I said earlier, it tells the story from the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. What a treasure this is going to be for the state.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to, when we get to the JT show, having more conversations about the addition to this and to the tourism attraction inventory. What an amazing thing. So what are you looking for tomorrow as this thing opens up?
Well, I think we're going to see people starting to come. It's a weekend. Obviously, we have the pandemic and all of that, but and that will certainly have an impact. That's okay. We know that's happening. But besides that, the fact of the matter, Ricky, is that we've been seeing that every single weekend, because of the measures we've been taking as a destination, people feel safe to come to coastal Mississippi. And we're seeing that more people is coming every weekend, some weekdays as well. And I think that particular pattern will help to increase the visitation right from the get-go to our aquarium. So
this is Milton Segura, who's the executive director and CEO of the Coastal Mississippi Tourism Organization. One of the things that I think we may be surprised by, as I left yesterday and talked to people about where I'd been, they told me they were coming this weekend. So it may be a build it and they're going to come scenario. So wouldn't it be wonderful to have just a terrific number of people here on the day of the opening?
Absolutely. And we, as Coastal Mississippi, we're taking this very seriously. We're supporting all the staff and all the efforts. And we're taking this aquarium as the center stage of all the promotions we're doing. Right now, in the last month or so, we've been very actively supporting all the efforts from the aquarium administration to make sure people knows about this in our social media feeds, in our digital marketing placement, in all the things we do in our website. We're taking this front and center. People needs to know that this is available in coastal Mississippi, that they can come and enjoy a wonderful day with their family and friends here in coastal Mississippi.
We talked a little bit about this, but the redevelopment opportunities it's going to create for downtown Gulfport, the strategic positioning of this here, that's going to be interesting to watch, isn't it?
You know, to Mayor Hughes, the council of the city, all his staff, all the partners that they have, this is a tribute, you know, and this serves as an anchor. It's exactly the same when you see a big mall. You need some anchor stores that will help the others. This aquarium, it's an anchor facility for downtown Gulfport, and it will help and support the rest of the community growing and supporting those businesses, so that's great.
So this is Ricky Matthews at Coast View. We're live at the Mississippi Aquarium today, celebrating the opening tomorrow of this new iconic attraction for Mississippi. We have Milton Segura from Coastal Mississippi Tourism with us. He'll be back with me right after this break.
Also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
You know what makes Double Shop the Coast's favorite party store?
Down to the house and over to Big Play today. 2 massive arcades, bowling, go-karts, 2 mini golf courses, a 2-story state-of-the-art laser tag arena, bumper cars, and right now get a $50 game card for only $25. Visit our station's Facebook and print on demand so you can play at Big Play Entertainment Center now. These deals won't last long, so make sure you get your half-off deal. Big Play Entertainment Center, Highway 90 Biloxi. Bowl, play, eat. Go to our station's Facebook to get your half-off deal now.
What decisions are being made by state lawmakers, and how will they affect you, your family, and community? If you listen, you'll know. SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fl.
Hi, I'm Billy Kinder, host of Big Billy Kinder Outdoors here. The show Saturdays at 1, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Turkeys, whitetail, Grenada Lake crappie, or Gulfport redfish. We enjoy it all, especially when you're in camp with us on SuperTalk Mississippi.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it, so do your part and stay home. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit social gatherings. If you need essential items like food and medicine, try using a delivery service. If you must leave your house for essential items, or if you want to take a walk for exercise, make sure to wear a cloth face covering. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Try not to frequently touch surfaces like light signals, street signs, or benches. And wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so stay home unless absolutely necessary. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, want to come work for the #1 radio group on the coast? TeleSouth Media has a great opportunity for an outside sales consultant. Get paid while having fun and work in the exciting, fast-paced world of radio. We have award-winning stations like 97.9 CPR Rocks, 105.9 The Monkey, G96.7, SuperTalk 103.1, and 103.5 The Possum. Take the first step towards a new and rewarding career. Submit your resume to Jesse at telesouth.com. That's JESSE at telesouth.com.
The Mississippi Aquarium, and it's going to be opening tomorrow. I have Milton Segura, the head of the Coastal Mississippi Tourism, with me today, and we're having just a terrific conversation. The first half, we actually talked more about the aquarium. What I want to talk about now is the pandemic situation and how your organization, Milton, sort of dealt with the reality of what we were facing. You came onto this scene very early and said that the key to our success is going to be having a healthy and safe visit for people. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. Since day one, what we did, Ricky, was understanding the consumer sentiment. You know, this has changed tremendously. Nowadays, what you have is a group of people that is ready to travel, and some other people that is not ready to travel. You know, regardless of the age, regardless of the demographic, it's about I'm willing to travel or I'm not. And then you need to talk to that people. And there's a very basic message, which is pretty much like, we understand what's happening. If you don't want to travel now, we got it. We're going to be here waiting for you. So when you're ready, we're going to be ready. So we were talking to those since March. And on top of that, to the ready to travel as the consumer sentiment, because the key for this, Ricky, has been how we've been able to follow up, not based on historical data, because there is a new ball game. It's about how the consumer sentiment in our region and in the nation has been responding to this new threat and this pandemic. So we were able to get that information. We decided, okay, the people that is not ready to travel, we're going to keep engaged with them. We're going to be providing information so they know we're here. But the people that is ready to travel, we've been engaging with them in a different way. And the way has been, hey guys, whenever you're ready to go and you feel that you need a break, that you need to come to a safe destination, here we are. In coastal Mississippi, with our Destination Health Promise, you can come and enjoy what you have in mind, your expectations, but making sure that our partners will support you by wearing a mask, by washing their hands, by keeping social distancing, so you can come, feel safe, and enjoy. And that message has been phenomenal. We have had great feedback. We have had great numbers from our key markets: Louisiana, Texas, Alabama, Florida Panhandle, Mississippi, which is a very important market for us. So that's the way to get back into the business. The strategy paid off, and we thought it was going to be, at this point, from March to now to August, we thought it was going to be a disaster. It's not what we wanted, you know, but at least I can tell you it's much, much better than we expected back in March. So numbers are good.
Let's unwrap it a little bit. So one of the important points you made was that so many of the people who visited coastal Mississippi already were driving here, about 80% actually. And
yes.
You said, okay, the driving market's going to be key to our success going forward, because people they're not going to want to fly for a while. And I know the numbers are beginning to come back in my conversations with Clay Williams, but nowhere near where it needs to be.
Not yet.
So people feel safe in their car. They feel like they can control their environment. You saw that actually as a really important metric that would give coastal Mississippi an opportunity to really continue to build that when it's all said and done, that number might be 90% or even much greater than that. Have you got a sense of that yet, Milton?
Not yet, but I can tell you, I mean, in terms of having the numbers, but exactly as you said, I'm sure that north of 90% of the people that is coming to visit us, it's driving. It's right now what we have is that 3 to 5 hours driving range coming to coastal Mississippi. This is a typical week. You know, you could have a very low occupancy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then on Thursday goes up. On Friday keeps going up. On Saturday we're full. On Sunday is the normal checkout. But at least we've been providing constant economic impact. Tourist dollars coming to our coast. That dollars goes to our vendors. That dollars goes to our restaurants. That dollars goes to the souvenir shops. And that is helping us to keep the people in place working. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, the last number that I saw, Ricky, traditionally our number in terms of total employment in the industry is between 30 to 31,000 people, full blast, direct and indirect. After COVID-19, maybe that number went down to 24, 25,000. But still, you know, we lost a lot, but at least we kept a lot of people working. And when you put all of that together, at the end, what we thought was going to happen, it's happening. We will continue not taking the decision based on what we know. It's about what people think. It's not about us. It's about them at this particular moment. And you know, Ricky, every challenge brings an opportunity. It was a matter of we need to decipher what was the opportunity for us. And I think between the leadership of our organization, our team, which has done a terrific job, and the partners that we have, the industry, we've been able to position coastal Mississippi as a safe bet to come and participate. Once the casinos came back into the mix, that was a big push for us. The gaming component in our destination, it's so important. So important. And with their power, with their reach to some other markets, that helped us tremendously. Plus, when you put all the efforts we did to talk to the consumer, to talk to the leisure market, that was like a perfect storm in a nice way that has helped us tremendously to see the activity we're seeing right now.
You and I are completely aware that in the DNA of coastal Mississippians is this resiliency. It's just who we are. You know, the 15th anniversary of Katrina's tomorrow, but then we had the BP oil spill, and then we had the Bonnet Carré Spillway opening and the algae bloom, which are actually the numbers we're going up against now that are relative to the algae bloom. When I talked to Linda Hornsby, I mean, the Hotel and Lodging Association, they're extremely pleased with the progress that we've made in terms of bookings. The revenue per room is not where they want it to be, the net revenue, but the reality is when you think about where we could have been relative to the pandemic and where we are today, we're really making great progress. And then you add to that casinos really get this. They know what it means to create a safe environment for visitors. Restaurants get that. When you add it all up with what you just said, the marketing that the casinos are doing as they ramp back up, and you combine it to the marketing that you're doing as we ramp up, it's really the perfect storm of recovery, of focus, strategic focus on how do we learn to live in this pandemic that we're going to be in for a while. That's the reality, isn't it?
Let me tell you something, and I cannot disclose all the numbers because we're working with that, but we hired a company. It's called Tourism Economics. This is a tourism-only Oxford economics unit. So these are the best economists, all over the world. And we're trying to establish how it's going to be the recovery for the coast for the next 2 or 3 years. And we have several scenarios, worst case, baseline, and best case scenario. And when they sent me the very first draft, they said, you know what, Milton, what we're seeing in coastal Mississippi, we're not seeing it anywhere else. You guys are doing the right thing, and the numbers that could come to you will be much better than other destinations in the South and maybe in the nation. So at the end, and the reason why I'm bringing this, Ricky, is because the only way to accomplish this, when you have such a complex situation, such a complex challenge, the only way to do it is through collaboration. As simple as that. You can innovate, you can bring good ideas, you can have the best intentions, but if you don't have the collaboration factor right there, because it's impossible to do something alone in this particular time. So that's why the Linda Hornsby and the association, the casinos, the small attractions and the Attractions Association, us, when we're all together, we become this powerful, source of knowledge, intellectual capital for the coast. That's why we're here. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. But it's not just because it grew organic. It's because there was intention, there was intent, and we are now where we are because of that. Because collaboration, being very specific, and the most important thing, this opportunity, it was not about us. It's about them, about the public, about the consumer. And we were paying attention to them. We found very early in the stage of this game what they were looking for, and we were able to provide it immediately. And people saw that, they like it, and they said, you know what, I trust coastal Mississippi, I feel safe in coastal Mississippi, I want to go there.
It's we take it for granted, I think, sometimes, but one part of our resiliency is the ability for the key players to come together. There's not resistance or turf wars or anything. The people in leadership roles, whether at casino, the hotel and lodging association, restaurant, whatever, they're all in tune with, we're going to do what's best for coastal Mississippi. We don't have these big turf wars anymore. We have the ability to, once there's this moment of challenge, the next step is, okay, how are we going to work together to get us to the next place? That's true, isn't it?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something, Ricky. I hope, and this is the way coastal Mississippi we're trying to do this, is we are pivoting from this, disaster of this pandemic. And you can see the talent. You can see when we have this incredible challenges, you see how the coast, come one and make it happen. We don't have to wait only for those disasters to be in that mentality. If we keep that mentality about being so resilient, to be able to create, to innovate every single day, not only because we have a challenge of an oil spill or a water intrusion or a hurricane, but if we can every single day keep that mentality, I can assure you we'll take this to another level. And that's what we're going to do.
We're going to take it to the next level because we have great leadership. Milton Segura, thank you for joining me. You're a good friend to the show. And,
thank you,
to
likewise.
Me. And we have Mayor Billy Hughes from Gulfport coming up next.
He's the man.
He's the man.
Live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast View on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
Be sure to go by this station's website and check out the half-off deals. Audubon Zoo tickets for just $15. That's half price. $30 zoo tickets for just $15. Again, go to this station's website or Facebook. Look for the half-off deals logo to purchase yours now.
Heart attacks and strokes don't stay home. So don't avoid the ER out of anxiety. Don't die of doubt. If you have an emergency, call 911. When seconds count, the hospital is the safest place to be.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard, and
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
There's a place to share gossip about the office party fun, and a place to share the story you tell everyone. There's a place to share a laugh about when things went wrong, and a place to share the video of you dancing to your song. There's a place to share spare change, lunch, and your time. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
This is House Call for Health. There may be no greater medical mystery and no greater tragedy than sudden infant death syndrome. It used to be known as crib death. For no apparent reason, a presumably healthy sleeping baby dies. Medical experts don't have clear-cut answers to what causes sudden infant death, or SIDS, but now they have 2 risk factors: smoking and drinking during pregnancy beyond the first 3 months. A new study finds that babies whose mothers drank alcohol and smoked tobacco after the first trimester are at far greater risk of SIDS, 12 times greater. Previous studies showed a risk of smoking and drinking individually. This study says doing both drastically increases the danger. The research is sponsored by the National Institutes of Health, which is calling for greater publicity about the danger and improved screening at the very beginning of a pregnancy. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it, so do your part and stay home. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit social gatherings. If you need essential items like food and medicine, try using a delivery service. If you must leave your house for essential items, or if you want to take a walk for exercise, make sure to wear a cloth face covering. Stay at least 6 feet away from other people. Try not to touch frequently touched surfaces like light signals, street signs, or benches. And wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so stay home unless absolutely necessary. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Whether you're a Rebel, a Bulldog, a Golden Eagle, or just a sports fan, SuperTalk Mississippi has got a podcast for you. For you. Sports Talk Mississippi, The Rebel Report, Thunder and Lightning, The SuperTalk Eagle Hour, and The Borky Show are all now available for you. And it's all free. Get them all on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for SuperTalk on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. The Mississippi Power Weather Center. Your weather now.
Coastal flood advisory extended through noon today, and we'll see mostly cloudy skies. 50-50 chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy. 20% chance of early showers. Overnight low in the mid-70s. For tomorrow, mostly sunny with a 70% chance of afternoon showers. High near 88. Be sure your family is safe and prepared in the event of a storm. Visit MississippiPower.com/Storm Center for tips, lists, and more. Mississippi Power, powering through for you.
He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We're live at the Mississippi Aquarium. Literally, as we speak, we're watching them unload an alligator. I've got Mayor Billy Hughes with me. Billy, how you doing, buddy?
Couldn't be better.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
It's been a long time coming.
So let's do this. We've got two segments together, and I want to kind of go back in time a little bit because 15 years ago tomorrow, I was in my house with 10-foot waves hitting it, wondering if my family was going to survive. And thank God we did. And I came out. I knew that during the storm surge was so high that the coast, as we knew it, was going to be changed forever. When we emerged from that, it took us a day or two to sort of get our bearing underneath us. But as Haley said so many times, we hitched up our britches and we got on with the program. In a lot of ways, as you fast forward 15 years, this opening of the Mississippi Aquarium, not just the Coast Aquarium, the Mississippi Aquarium, is an exclamation point to Mississippi's recovery, isn't it?
I would agree, and that is one of the many facets we would hope to bring to bear should this ever become reality. So in many respects, I need to get pinched because it is here, and just to walk through it, even having seen it come to life over time, it's beyond all expectations. And most folks who have gotten a sneak preview have said nobody's going to believe this is in Mississippi. It is world class, and in the aquarium world, it's probably unprecedented because, you know, Ricky, when you start talking about Katrina, we all kind of have a flashback, and you talk about the PTSD from Laura when she comes on something of that magnitude with the storm surge, and we start saying, oh, my goodness. And, you know, just 4 or 5 days ago, we were in that bullseye, right?
Right.
And so just like you're thinking about your family, I was thinking about it, and the devastation was so unprecedented. These huge homes turned to kindling wood. And we didn't know how vast. We just knew it was horrible wherever we were, but we couldn't get anywhere. You know, you had to come across the bay and the bayou just to get back and forth to work in a boat to get to the newspaper. But until we saw the edition that y'all put out, that the world had seen it. Everybody was watching TV and stuff. We had none of that, so we knew it was bad. We just didn't know how widespread it was, but we knew it was bad. And the things you go through with the hurricane, there's sensory overload. You know, you see all the destruction, but you hear chainsaws. You know, the stifling heat, the smells of death, right, and pine tar and broken gas mains. And then you look at the magnitude of piles of debris, and really, had we known the task before us, it would have been so daunting we might not have gotten to it. But like you said, we said, you got to start somewhere. Let's grab a shovel and a broom and a rake and check on our neighbors all the while. And there was, I like to say we saw the worst of Mother Nature but the best of humanity. and we sure as heck did. And so now with Laura, we're locally trying to pay it forward, putting together response crews and folks to get over to Louisiana and Texas and see what they might need.
Yeah, you see this clearly in the social media following, that there is a real desire to help for coastal Mississippians to go to the aid of those hit by law. I mean, we understand what they're facing.
We do, and there are a lot of lessons learned that we can, bring to bear with talking to folks. And so in talking to our law enforcement, they're engaging and interfacing with law enforcement. One of the biggest challenges was they had to be on duty, and they couldn't even check on their families in many respects, or get their houses straight, or take stock, because they were taking care of the community. So what our law enforcement folks do when they go over, they say, look, we got this. You tell us what you need at your house. We're going to feed you and your family and everybody, all first responders. Go do your job. And by the way, if you need a break, we'll step in for you. And so those of us in elected office that had it say, look, okay, we're meeting with our counterparts. Document. You're going to get a lot of federal help. You need to make sure that you track where everything is. Otherwise, you'll have headaches down the road. But in the meantime, take care of folks first. Take care of the people. Everything will fall in line if you make sure your community is safe. Mm-hmm. And everybody has to deal with the new normal. Fortunately, everybody talks about the resiliency of our coast, of our people, and perhaps this aquarium will be emblematic of that, because this was one of the last blighted sections of the city as far as that rebirth, that regrowth. We had done, $40 million in totally retooling Jones Park, which in and of itself is an attraction. It's a heck of a draw. It's used every single day for things great and small, exercising, charitable walks, to the Harbor Lights Festival. So we continue to look for opportunities to tell our story. That's what you're about, too. Yeah. Telling our story, let people understand, because we're still, as Milton, he's got the secret, because we're one of the best-kept secrets in America, and people get here, and they're blown away. So how this came to bear was kind of in the back of mind of a lot of people, because we had an oceanarium, right? And it was old, and it was not super sexy, but dang it, people want to have some connection to our marine mammals, our aquaculture, our physical land that we live in, and what better time or way to tell a story but at a higher, more intense level. And so we saw the old First Baptist Church property. Nobody developed it. Part of the problem is because this whole campus was owned by 10 different property folks, and so we had to negotiate for over a year to actually the city to pick it up. Understanding we embraced a vision, we're going to make a huge investment, and hopefully people will catch that. And so we took an extremely blighted area in probably the prettiest overlook in the state, overlooking that harbor, and so we've built it up. We're 25 feet elevation now, so we brought in half of Harrison County dirt and put it here, but then they've formed and transformed the area, so you've got a lot of terrain changes, but the first thing is we're going to build it and invest. We got to harden it against future storms and make sure that the critters are here, those great animals from otters to dolphin to the gators, that they're protected, the turtles. It has been a heavy lift for going on 8 years now, and it has taken so many people from the feds to the state and certainly locally, and these remarkable creative experts that can design and build this wonderland. And we wanted to tell Mississippi's story again. We knew it couldn't be a coastal thing. It's about brown water to blue water. And so you're going to see the flora and fauna from across Mississippi, and you'll see some exotic things too. But one of the biologists here was saying the biodiversity is just in that main tank. From the stingrays and the sharks and the moray eels and the spadefish and a lot that you and I have caught.
Yeah, right.
But there's so much to see, and fortunately we're continuing that. I had no idea experience when people come here and say, "Wow, this is really cool." And Milton analyzes the tourism market all the time. And what's our bread and butter down here? Tourism. Yeah, we're pretty diversified economically, but the tourism component. It's a great place for adults to come play, right?
It is.
And the beaches are always been great for families, but we didn't have that family niche, that one attraction that brings folks that they could do something year-round. And this is it.
That's it. I'll tell you about a time we were all sitting around the table a few days after Katrina, and we were talking about what are we going to name the Governor's Commission. Well, Haley was determined that it was going to be called the Governor's Commission on Recovery, Rebuilding, and Renewal. We said, whoa, that's way too long. He said, no, you don't understand. We have to recover, which means we have to clean up the debris, and people psychologically have to get ready for this. We have to rebuild, bigger and stronger. But then we have to renew, which is really transform the coast.
Yep.
That's what this is. It's that step. It's an additional step toward renewal in ways we weren't where we were not before Katrina.
I think you're right. Like it or not, we had a fresh palette as far as what are we going to make of the wasteland that has been left, and are we going to be better than we were? Unfortunately, we can't get a lot of that collective architecture in the feel that we had for a coastal community, but we can do things in a certain fashion, in a certain way. And fortunately, leaders like Haley and Phil Bryant, said that makes all the sense in the world. And with the monies that were coming to us, whether it's BP or another type of settlement, when monies come, or Go Mesa funds, whatever they may be, we wanted to have something that people could point to years from now, because so often there's so many mouths to feed in government as far as needs that need to be filled, and they're legitimate asks, but once the money's spent, sometimes it's a program, and 5 years from now, where'd it go? So we said, let's do something that has an immediate impact. That word transformational, it really sums it all up, to make the difference and put us on a map at a higher level. We've always been on the map, but this is really something that everybody can and should be proud of. I'd go see my colleagues in the Senate and the House, and they say, how's your fish tank coming? I said, so Walter Michelle, he's coming down this afternoon, and Jay Walter, he said, I said, you gonna love your fish tank, and he said, that is so awesome, I can't wait. So there's a lot of excitement across the state and really the region. About 8 months ago, I was in Jackson, had to go by the Federal Building to pick up something, and the young lady who was just a young single mother, had a little boy, and she didn't say, how is your aquarium coming, or how's it coming? She said, when is our aquarium going to open? So she's been ready for a long time. I had another lady 5 years ago came down to a conference on the coast, and it was just starting to scratch the dirt and come out of the ground, and she said, is it going to be real? I said, absolutely. She said, when? I said, why? She said, well, I'm from Oxford, and I'm moving down. I want to work there. So there's people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all regions that are really excited about Mississippi's aquarium.
When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation with Mayor Billy Hughes. But Billy, one of the things I want to talk about is really the layout of this campus, and that view you talk about as you get over toward the south part of the campus and see over the harbor. Man, what a special location this is. We'll be back with Mayor Hughes right after this.
Yep.
Since 1950. SuperTalk. Nobody keeps Mississippi informed like we do. With 12 stations covering all 82 counties. If it happens in your state, we're on top of it. The news, the weather, the sports, and the talk that's important to you. The issues that matter to you, your family, and your bank account. It's all right here. And when you're away from home, depend on the SuperTalk app and supertalk.fm to stay in the know. We're proud to serve our fellow Mississippians. SuperTalk, Mississippi.
We know that we're asking Americans to do a lot right now. So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible to this virus.
A question I often get asked is, why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
Social distancing is really physical separation of people.
It's what we refer to when we ask people to stay at least 6 feet apart.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, not going to theaters where there are a lot of people. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others who might actually be infected or infect you.
We all have a role to play in preventing person-to-person spread of this disease, which can be deadly for vulnerable groups. For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. Norbert, Elvis.
And I want to tell you about Presley. He had two different voices. He would sit and talk to me in a very calm, low voice. And we were at Stack's one night, and we were having lunch. We always had lunch at midnight because he was nocturnal. We sat there and we have our sandwiches, and at 1 o'clock, he looked up. He said, "Hey, Put, come on, it's time for me to go be Elvis." And he stood up, in a much deeper voice, he put on his macho voice. "Hey, fellas, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get cracking, okay?"
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, Amazon Alexa, and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Everyone knows the only thing better than pizza is free pizza, and right now buy a $10 gift certificate to CiCi's Pizza for only $5. It's like buying a pizza and getting a pizza for free. Go to our station's website or Facebook. Look for the Half Off Deals logo to purchase this amazing deal right now.
We give HPV vaccine to children at 11 or 12 years of age. I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, and I've given the vaccine to all of them.
Get out of the house and over to Big Play today. 2 massive arcades, bowling, go-karts, 2 mini golf courses, a 2-story state-of-the-art laser tag arena, bumper cars, and right now get a $50 game card for only $25. Visit our station's Facebook and print on demand so you can play at Big Play Entertainment Center now. These deals won't last long, so make sure you get your half-off deal. Big Play Entertainment Center, Highway 90 Biloxi. Bowl, play, eat. Go to our station's Facebook to get your half-off deal now.
It's a great time to be on the coast, and we love talking about it. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We're live here at the Mississippi Aquarium, celebrating the grand opening tomorrow of this iconic structure. I call it iconic, Billy. I have Mayor Billy Hughes from Gulfport with me because there are 2 reasons. One is the design, the architecture, the way the campus is laid out and oriented to the harbor. And the other is the symbolic nature of it as it relates to the 15th anniversary of Katrina. But truly iconic, magnificent. The campus is special, isn't it?
It had to be. We, aquariums come in different shapes and forms and sizes, but most of them are designed to be interior only. And knowing that we had this canvas that we were talking about where we could do some design, we wanted it to be an indoor-outdoor experience. Our climate is perfect for that. It's year-round. And, in Mississippi, if you're not getting outdoors, you're not getting it. And so we thought the aquarium could be very reflective of that and from an educational conservation standpoint. But it's a great learning experience, but just to walk around, to be here, the iconic part is something that has been front of mind in the entire design process, starting with the sails. You've got a brand you want to talk about, so when people see that logo or the sails, they know exactly where they are at the Mississippi Aquarium. They know what it represents, what it stands for. And for some people it's sails, other people it's waves. So, it's whatever your interpretation is. The fact is we've got something that the public can really come and enjoy. We also wanted that, that front area where you can overlook Jones Park without having to buy a ticket, so to make it really a public plaza where people could come up and have the overlook and even, take pictures by the sails. But I tell you, if you come that close, you're going to want to go inside and buy a ticket. And so there's been a great partnership too. We talk about P3 projects, public-private partnerships. This is a P4, public-private philanthropic partnership. And aquariums don't work without a generous community and with those contributions to sustain. So you'll see we've got a lot of partners that run across, but this iconic component you talk about, we were talking earlier about the folks who work here are drawn to this industry, and they're very passionate about research and development in the care of the animals. And most of them are, biologists or have some sort of degree in that realm. But I was talking to one who's worked at a lot of places around the world. I said, what sets this apart? Do you think it's special? He said, without a doubt, it's special. He said, but the thought that's gone into it, making this iconic area with the colors, the terrain changes, the square footage that's been allotted for these animals to move around in and feel like a natural habitat is really cool. So it feels like Mississippi, a really high-end version of the Mississippi outdoors. But that's the other thing. We put a lot of investment into the landscaping, native trees, native plants, those sorts of things. And so the habitats are great for all the animals. And if you come, you're going to want to stay and come back a lot because of just what you said. There's nothing like it. I don't think there's nothing like it in America.
One other comment about the layout. As I look south, I can see the sails, but I can see the Ship Island Lighthouse. Wow, what an amazing connection. So, Billy, I'm curious, in the short time we have left together, tell me more about how the revitalization effort has already begun.
So there were a number of folks who came and invested in the area because of the catalyst they knew that the Mississippi Aquarium would bring. So Centennial Plaza is probably the best example. Centennial Plaza was the old VA property, 50 acres that had been neglected and really beat up in the storm, but it was some of the only architecture left. It has been transformed, and it opened last year after a substantial, $90 million investment. But it is a jewel in and of itself. A great restaurant. This is Lazy River. So that's one example. But we had other restaurants. Ron Savella's come down and he put a Patio 44 down here. 27th Avenue, we've got a number of restaurateurs. So downtown Gulfport, historic downtown, is really buzzing. And so we're seeing more and more indications. And let me tell you, even with COVID, our urban development department with permits and licensing, they haven't stopped. They've been humming, and that's an indication of what the expectation that this aquarium project has created. So we're investing in ourselves. We're doing something that you can see the result of your investment, enjoy it for generations to come, but also really spur a lot of development. In Gulfport, we try to be creative with incentives for people to build back faster, particularly in proximity to the coastline where it was blighted. And so with those type of incentives, working in concert with the council and our administration, we've tried to be creative with a vision to be better than ourselves, to make things better than they were, to make them more attractive and interesting, and build upon just the natural amenities that we have. We got the people across Mississippi, which are awesome. Then you start putting the food, and you start that, year-round climate, no traffic jams, everything that you look for. And now we're going after the remote working tech community in addition to the blue economy. So the blue economy in and of itself, Naval Oceanographic, NOAA, they're coming here bringing hundreds of scientists and high-tech jobs. They're going to be wanting places to live, to eat, and to do. And their spouses are the ones who are making that call sometimes. How's your education? We invested $40 million into redoing all of Gulfport schools, physical infrastructure. Other communities across the coast, from one end to the other have done the same thing. So our school systems are exceptional. And so the check boxes you want to knock off when you're looking at areas to come, a lot of folks don't expect to find it in Mississippi. So they're blown away, and this is just one more amenity that says, why would I not want to be there?
Yeah, I agree. I see a future for Gulfport. We're going to look 5 years from now, we're going to look back. You're going to see more mixed use in downtown. You're going to see more young people coming here. As an entrepreneur told me, people want to find a spouse, so they want to go where they can find a spouse. They want to live, work, and play in this new economy, the creative economy. They want to live, work, and play in the same area. The opportunities for Gulfport in that realm are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah, this is a very walkable, bikeable, outdoor activity community, so you can recreate. Again, without Nashville is the hot spot right now. Chattanooga's got it going on, but so does Gulfport. So does our coast, because of those things that those larger cities are dealing with a lot of gridlock, a lot of problems and issues. My son moved back from Atlanta because he wanted to be home, number one, but number two, he really liked what they had from the outdoors, hiking and stuff like that, but he couldn't stand the traffic. It was an hour one way, an hour back, and he said, man, I'm spending too much time behind the wheel. And he grew up used to having what you and I and our kids have had, and there's a lot to be said for that. So we're having more and more people find out about that and say, particularly, and COVID has emphasized it, I can work remotely. I can get it done. I do not have to go in and fight traffic or go to an office when I can work from a WeWork place, which we're creating here as well in concert with the Blue Economy folks at Southern Miss.
Yeah, the opportunities are terrific. Thank you, Billy Hughes, for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later.
Everybody come experience your aquarium.
The JT Show is next.